Selecting the proper hose and hose coupling for a given application is very important. In addition, the couplings must be installed properly to ensure safety and operating efficiency. This program is about some of the common methods of attaching couplings to industrial hose. The ends of a hose to be coupled should be cut square. This ensures that the hose will seat snugly against the coupling body, which reduces the possibility of leakage. Fabric reinforced hose can be cut with a sharp knife. Spiral wire reinforced suction hose can be cut with a knife and wire cutters. Wire braid or spiral construction is generally cut with a hose cutoff machine or a hacksaw with a fine-tooth blade. Inspect the hose shank of the couplings to be installed. If necessary, remove any sharp nicks or burrs that might damage the hose tube. Lubricate the hose shank to reduce friction during installation. A soap solution or rubber cement works well. However, oil is not recommended. Mechanical coupling pushers are available to assist in the installation of larger couplings. The hose shank should be installed in a straight line with the hose tube to prevent the end of the fitting from damaging the tube. If the hose tube and coupling shank do not fit properly, try another coupling. Do not remove any portion of the hose tube. Here is a very popular method used to attach hose couplings. These are preformed clamps installed with an installation tool and adapter. The proper size clamp should readily slip over the end of the hose with the coupling inserted. The proper position of the clamp should be marked on the hose. This can be done by measuring the coupling shank against the hose as illustrated. The clamp should be positioned so that it is at least 1/2 inch from the end of the coupling shank. Where two clamps are used, such as on long shank couplings, the second clamp should be at least 1/2 inch from the end of the coupling shank. When two clamps are used, the buckles are generally staggered around the hose to ensure a uniform gripping action. Place the installation tool in a vise and slip the adapter over the nose of the tool. Insert the proper size clamp in the tool and grip the tail of the clamp with the gripper lever. Insert the hose and coupling assembly through the clamp. Turn the tension handle clockwise to tighten the clamp. When the band stops moving through the buckle, it is properly tensioned. Roll the hose over until the buckle is under the hook of the adapter while reversing the tension handle 1/4 to 1/2 turn. Engage the buckle with the shear hook. Cut the band with a firm forward movement of the cutter handle. This provides a secure and relatively smooth appearing method of coupling attachment. This roll of band material and loose buckles are used for larger size hoses. Pull the band from the carton as needed. Slide the buckle on the band with the ears of the buckle away from the operator. Bring the end of the band around and run it through the buckle again. Bring the end of the band around a second time and slide it through the buckle. Then, bend about a 5/8 inch length of the band under the buckle as shown. This double banding procedure develops more compression than single banding. The band should then be pulled snugly around the hose by hand. With the application tool held in the hand, the band is placed in the open slot of the tool nose and into the tool slide. Depress the band gripper lever to engage the band and apply tension by turning the handle clockwise. The gripper lever should lock itself under tension. When the band stops moving through the buckle, the band is properly tensioned. The tool is then rolled over the buckle away from the operator. During the rollover procedure, The tension handle should be turned counterclockwise about 3/4 to 1 turn. This is necessary to avoid possible breakage of the band. The band is then cut by pulling the cutting handle. The remaining stub of band should be held down and then clinched by hammering down the buckle ears. Here is another preformed band type clamp. The installation procedure is similar to the other preformed clamp except that a different installation tool is used. The clamp is placed over the hose and coupling assembly. The tension handle of the tool is pushed forward and the tail of the clamp is then clamped into place. Tension is then applied by the ratchet action of the tool. After sufficient tension has been applied, lower the center punch onto the buckle. Strike the punch at least twice with a hammer to lock the clamp. Using a forward and backward movement of the tool, break off the tail of the clamp. Here is a wire type clamp. Again, it is installed with a special installation tool. The tool is generally fastened to a workbench. Fit the proper size clamp in the tool by inserting the tail wires through the holes as shown. Secure the tail wires under the eccentric with the loops of the clamp down. Tighten the clamp by turning the tension handle clockwise. When the clamp is tight around the hose is rolled up with a rolling action. This locks the wires. The wires are then cut by pulling the cutoff lever toward the operator. The ends of the wire are then bent down with a hammer. There are various bolt-type clamps available. They range from light-duty clamps to heavy-duty double-bolt malleable iron clamps. The light-duty clamps are economical and installed with a screwdriver. This single-bolt malleable iron clamp is slipped over the hose prior to inserting the coupling. The coupling is inserted, and the bolt is then tightened to achieve the final tension. The double-bolt malleable iron clamp is for heavy-duty applications and larger diameter hoses. The two bolts should be tightened alternately and evenly until the clamp is tight. Careful attention must be given to the size selection of these bolt-type clamps because each size clamp has a relatively limited range of hose outside diameters that it will fit properly. This clamp is similar to the light-duty bolt-type clamps, except that it uses a worm drive to tighten the clamp. It is tightened by turning the worm drive with a screwdriver. The worm then engages the slots in the clamp and draws the clamp tight. Crimped ferrules are a very common way to attach light-duty air and water hose couplings. It is very important to select the right ferrule for the outside diameter of the hose being coupled. The ferrule should be slipped over the hose with the hose seated firmly against the ferrule shoulder. Lubricate the coupling shank with water or a cement solution. Then push the coupling into the tube of the hose. The ferrule should be an easy friction fit with the coupling inserted. The crimping machine may be either hand-operated or power-operated. There are a variety of die sizes to give an exact finish. The proper dies must be used. The assembly is placed in the crimping tool and crimped as the dies compress the ferrule. This is the interlocking clamp. It is used to attach interlocking clamp type heavy-duty couplings. One key to the proper installation of these clamps is selecting the proper size clamp for the hose outside diameter. After the hose shank is inserted in the hose, the two halves of the clamp are placed on the hose. The extended fingers of the clamp should lock over the collar on the hose stem. Insert the clamp bolts and tighten. If necessary, the clamp may be compressed in a vise to aid in tightening. The clamp halves should be tightened snugly on the hose, but should not touch one another. The clamp fingers should be engaged with the hose stem collar, but should not be bottomed out on the stem itself. Sizes 3/4 inch and smaller use 2-bolt interlocking clamps and are installed in the same manner. Some industrial hose applications require special couplings with special attachment methods. Some examples are sandblast hose, gasoline curb pump hose, aircraft refueling hose, and hoses with built-in couplings and flanges. Consult the hose and coupling manufacturer's literature for recommended coupling installation. The attachment methods discussed in this program are the most common for typical industrial hose applications. Crimped ferrules, preformed bands, roll of band and separate buckles, wire-type clamps, light-duty bolt type, worm gear type, single bolt malleable iron, double bolt malleable iron, and the heavy-duty interlocking clamp type. The installation procedures discussed in this program, along with the hose and coupling manufacturer's recommended selection and application information printed in their literature, will help produce a safe and efficient coupled hose assembly.